Well, we're back to Boeing Field, which means only one thing. A new Boeing product has hit the market, and I, as usual, am very delayed in getting around to it. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new aircraft to review. I proudly present to you the 777, but there it is, the PMDG 777. Again, late to the party as usual, but no, we will not be reviewing the Captain Sim today, or really ever in its entirety. I might do a hilarious SmackDown video between the PMDG and the Captain Sim, but different time, different place. Nonetheless, this is a standard review that we're going to go through like we always do. We're going to take a look both inside and outside of the aircraft at textures, get a sound profile on the aircraft, switches, knobs, oral tones, all that kind of stuff. Look at a few of the Easter eggs on this aircraft, and of course, get it up in the air and see how it flies. Without further ado, let's begin. We're going to start our walk around as we always do with textures. Let's head outside first. I know I wasted all the time walking up this little stairway here, but let's go ahead and head outside of the aircraft, because this is where it shines. Obviously, the gorgeous, beautiful GE90 engines on the outside of this aircraft. Engine fan diameter larger than that of the fuselage of a Boeing 737 for reference. The GE90. Absolutely legendary engine. Soon to be brought back to life with the GE9B with the 777X. Really interesting bluing on the, I'm assuming that's supposed to be a titanium exhaust cone here. I don't think I've ever seen one properly blued like that before. I've definitely seen like burnt titanium with little bits of blue, but nonetheless, very, very nice. You can see our high bypass fan there, the back side of it, through the aft side of the engine. Of course we're gonna hit that sample engine test. You know we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna pass, but no, we don't pass. But that's you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So it does look like, okay, so your outer aftmost fan is modeled, so that's I can run with that. Over to the main gear, and we're going to make our way back up front shortly, so don't you fret. Relatively good detail on those big old Bridgestone tires. Oop, didn't mean to clip through there. I love it when devs make their aircraft look used. This 777 definitely has some brake dust accumulation. With this being the 300 model, I believe this trailing Lincoln shear actually pivots separate from the trucks in front. I believe that to be the case, although I'm not seeing evidence of that here. Perhaps it's an option. But I know on some of the 777 300, or maybe it's the 300 ERs, this aftmost truck will actually pivot to aid in steering the aircraft. Look like outflow valves. I don't know why I'm pretending that I'm high-powered hot air exhaust. So not outflow valves. Sorry, the outflow valves on the right-hand side. Let's head up to the tail. Oh no, there's the outflow valve. Right there. Heading up to the empennage. Absolutely beautiful detail there on the logo lights, which I obviously have switched on. Shining up on the tail there, you can't tell because it's daytime. Reasonable detail on the riveting. You know, at say this distance, maybe this distance and beyond, they look good. APU exhaust. The APU is running, and there you can see the heat blur from the APU. No interior detail there, just a similar colored plate, which really shouldn't be too much of a deal breaker unless you have lighting conditions kind of exactly like we do now. Good detail on the rear nav. Strobe lights. Rear tail skid. Looking reasonably good. Let's do a static look check. Static looks looking reasonably good as well. A little bit of texture degradation on the those rivets there. Again, at a distance they look just fine though. APU inlet. Obviously this is an animated door. It's like there's nothing really to see beyond this door there. So it would be nice to have a little bit more detail, even if it's just darkening. I think like this was just a black void, I'd be more okay with it than this here. Even with reshade on, it still is pretty noticeable. Even at a distance, you know, you get out to like here and you can still see, hey, that's a gigantic gaping hole for the APU. So kind of let you guys make the call on the vertical stabilizer. I could I definitely spot areas of improvement, but overall I think it's pretty good. More static wicks. Continuing down the top, we've got a couple of antennas. Not sure their function. I think the VHF is further forward, so I'm not sure what purpose those serve. Satcom antennas, and then there's the option for the Wi-Fi as well, which we do not have installed today. Obviously the aircraft is powered down, so we've got a big old droop on our aileron there. I forgot to do a gear bay check. Oh, look at that. What was that for detail, huh? I wouldn't call this 100% accurate, but any detail wiring or hydraulic lines, that sort of stuff, I can't appreciate. That's spectacular. I'm not even sure what function that serves. Is that a proximity switch indication? You know, I bet you maybe it has to do with the parking brakes. I've got chocks in. Let's find out. No, I can't do that from here. Never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Nonetheless, very nice to see. A little bit more main landing gear detail. Let's go continue out to the wing. The wing tip, that is. Functional and animated fuel drains on both sides of the wings. We get a secondary spray effect coming out of those. And your new gen 777 raked wing. Great detail. Love the lens color. Love the intensity. Well, the intensity of the lights is actually a third-party mod, so I can't give kudos to intensity, but the lens looks fantastic both on the strobe and on the nav light. Loving those smaller details, the wing lifting points. Wonder, I think that's an emergency exit light. If I hop back into the cockpit and I turn on my emergency lights. Yes, they do turn on. Very nice. Remember that from the PMDG 737. So all of your doors now have little evacuation lights on around them. In addition to that, I don't remember if I can do it from here or not. I think I can only shut them off. So let's go back into the cockpit once more. And turn on the lights. So there's our wing light. Again, intensity was a little bit lacking, but nonetheless looking very, very nice. Of course, you got your landing lights. I'm blind. Continuing on the underside of the trip. Even though it's 2D, I do like the modeling on the beacon there. It almost fools the eye. All in all, pretty good. Let's take a look out the left-hand wing here. See how they did on the port side for that. Yeah, it all looks just as good. Just as good. Back up along the top. Top side beacon, similar story. Some antennae. I've got the captain's side window open. In addition to that, I have the EEC and avionics bay doors open. Not a lot of detail in here, but the option to open the doors is still pretty cool. So low detail, low poly. That's still cool to be able to open both this door as well as your avionics bay here. So taking a look at some of the detail on the nose gear. That's all looking very nice. To my knowledge, there's no gear light on the... There's that little light again. Right next to the ramp stops for the nose wheel. To my knowledge, there's no way to actually interact with the this panel here, but I can appreciate that there's a light there. It's like I know the 7.3 has landing gear well lights. I don't believe the 777 has a switch in the cockpit. It has them, or it has a switch that you can actuate on the outside of the aircraft in the area where you might be working, but alright, so that's a quick whistle stop tour around the outside. Let's head inside and we'll do a quick tour through the interior. It is worth noting I'm on the default PMDG livery, so that's what we're going to see inside, but as you progress through the different the different carriers. Hey, we're inside now. We're inside now. Stay quiet. So you can see with the emergency exit lighting switch on, I've got the pathways lit up, both of the seating areas. But anyway, what I was saying before is these cabins will change depending on your carrier. So if you don't like the default, there's tons and tons of other carriers out there that are true to life to their actual both interior. I think it's both layout and definitely color options and stuff like that. So flight deck door, we'll get to there momentarily. A galley. We're on the R side of the aircraft again. Those really nice lit up emergency exit paths. Can't quite see if there's a yeah, no, that'd be an extreme level of detail. I wanted to see if you could see the difference between armed and unarmed doors for well, I guess that's one way to look at it. But I wanted to see if you could see the little bar that pulls the slides out. So coming in past through first class now, or I believe we're into business class. Fully animated, fastened seatbelt, and no smoking signs. Those coincide with the switch position in the cockpit. And I don't know what this seating class is called. We'll just call it standard economy. On economy. Let me back in. Thank you. And then scum class, economy. Back here. I'd take one of these seats. Wow, I don't believe is modeled. It is not. Rear galley, flight attendant seating locations. Obviously, we're at the back of the aircraft here. IFE, even for economy, that's pretty sweet. So if you, a lot of noises. Nope, now? No. There are a couple of default overwing views. Obviously, you can make your own if you would like, especially having a fully modeled interior. You could do so. If you like looking ahead of the engine, or if you like looking over the wing. Look, they even modeled the little transparent, or the hole in the protection. Anyway, that is a look at the visuals. We're going to get loud again. That's a quick overview on the textures and visuals. Let's head inside of the cockpit and see what we have in store for us there. All right, our lengthy tour around the 777 complete. Let's go ahead and get everything buttoned up and do a quick overview of the cabin here. First thing I'm going to do is actually shut this window here. And we'll get it latched. And that message in the iCache should disappear as well. Alright, we're locked. And I'm going to put the tablet up there just so it's a little bit easier to see. I do want to give a quick shout out actually to a channel where I've learned a lot of my commercial aviation knowledge. Obviously, I'm not a line mechanic for any airlines, so I have to get my information from somewhere, and that comes largely from Stig Aviation on YouTube. If you haven't seen him, check him out. He's based out of LAX. He's a really cool, upbeat guy. Fantastic overviews on stuff, and he somehow manages to do it while he's at work. So, big kudos to you, dude. Stay positive. We love the positive stuff on YouTube. So, anyway, back to our virtual airplane, since I can't work around real ones. We're going to go ahead and just do a quick overview of the cockpit. Let's turn off my reshade. Fully functional, unlike the Captain Sim. Everything in here is completely and fully functional. There are very, very few items that are going to be out of place here. One of the big things for me is the integrated checklists on the aircraft. Excuse me. You can run through the entire aircraft from pre-flight to shutdown and secure, which is fantastic. You have a working stat page, so you can see your hydraulic quantity and your hydraulic pressures. So like if I turn off my hydro pressures, you'll see those will start to drop off. You can see the APEVGT is also dropping because it's not working as hard to put pressure there. So that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and align the IRS, since we're gonna need that for our flight. I'll get V speeds and all that stuff plugged in off video. Fully functioning display brightness, as well as your floodlights. Again, kind of hard to see in the daytime, but they're definitely there and they definitely look great. Overhead cabin, or overhead panel, almost every switch and button functions as intended. Circuit breakers not so much, which I'm not that worried about, if I'm being entirely honest. I like to have normal routine flights, not anything super crazy. Let's quickly talk through the EFB here. Again, it took PMDG a while to get the EFB up and running. So you've got 4 different options. You've got manuals that you can either import and then actually look at like a menu on your phone or something, QR codes. There's your actual EFB, so if we had SimBrief flight loaded, we could have done that. Or if we had a flight loaded, it would automatically populate and set all of our waypoints here. I obviously did not do that. I believe there's Navigraph integration. There is Navigraph integration as well. And yeah, that's to authenticate with Navigraph. You've got a settings screen here, which is fantastic. You know, you can set your different units of measure. You know, you can do kilometers versus the, I don't know, unit of measure that got us to the moon. Sorry, same thing with altitude. Temperature, I do stick with the metric system though. It's just easier. So performance tool that allows you to calculate your performance data and that sort of thing. I think we're doing right 1.4. Is that right? Yeah, 1.4. We'll do flaps 15, import the rest, anti-icing config off. It'll read weather from the sim. That was where that setting calculator was in there. You have your V speeds for takeoff, your estimated takeoff weight, and you can do the same thing for your landing. I guess I just spoiled where we're going to, but that's okay. We're gonna go flaps 30. Nice big slow. We might be overweight. We're not overweight. We're gonna use up the entirety of the runway how we're currently configured. We'll do auto brakes for. Yeah, so we got to calculate our weight there, but you get the idea. And then the tab I was on before is the ground ops, so you can set shocks, you can request a whole bunch of different ground support equipment, like the stairs that I have on there. You can request to release potable water, a lot of the same stuff that you can get on the PMDG 737 can come and go. Door management, again, you can open, close, or arm all. So you can see all of our doors are now armed. I'm going to go ahead and close our avionics and E&E access down below. That's where you would do that. And then if you go actually back to ground service vehicles, do I have the maintenance van? So I'll park the maintenance van. That should pop up just off to our right hand side. There it is. Then you can see I've been doing some flying, and I've scrub-a-dub-dub the tires a little bit, so we can go ahead and ask to replace the tires, and they'll all change, which is great. You can do the same thing with the brakes. If you got hot brakes, you can have them cool. Obviously the 777 doesn't have brake fans like Airbus products. You also can look at and refill your different fluids. So if you got low hydro fluid, you can do that. Engine oil, you can do that, and you can see the right engine's just a smidgen lower than left. Fire bottles, I haven't done anything with those. There's also an automated turn type, so you can, I guess in lieu of like a GSX or something, have PMDG use their default ground handling equipment. So that's kind of neat. But I think that's about it. I'll talk a little bit about the sim rate. So up here, these guys here, so you've got the option for auto cruise, and you can turn on auto time compression, and you can set a max. I think up to 4 times is the sweet spot, because if you go beyond that, the sim gets a little bit stuttery and non-manageable. You can also manually change the sim rate if you wanted to, and then if it's getting too fast or out of control, you can hit reset. That is a huge lifesaver when you're going on big long haul flights like you would in a 777, to be able to fast forward time as you're flying. So nonetheless, we'll go ahead and get geared up here and get ready to go fly. Oh, I also want to mention all of the window shades here are functional. You can move them around and do all kinds of stuff with them. It's the same thing on the other side. So that's Always nice to see. Alright, I'm going to get V-speeds plugged in, get the aircraft to run through its pre-flight off camera, and then we will go into an engine startup and head over to Renton. One other thing I failed to mention is just like on the 7.3 from PMDG, you can do all your standard stuff. You can set your fuel, you can do all of your ground maintenance if you want. Let's do nose left, please.
Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Engine's clear. Start at will. We'll start engine number 1 first.
Set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmations for a good engine start.
Yeah, I had to stop him there. Unfortunately. Alright. One's up. Starting engine 2. Rotation indicated. We'll wait till about 30%. In the meantime, I'm going to set our cargo temps to warm. Actually cool down our cabins a little bit as well. There's 30%. Alright, that's 2 good engine starts. Tell GSX to go away.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Alright, while they're doing their thing, let's do a flight controls check.
Unlocking gear.
Very good. Double star RTO, back to the checklist. Flight controls will wait for their call for the all clear. Get my ground equipment. And we'll set flaps 15. Should get an indication right here. Good. Flaps transiting to 15. She's hauled off. Taxi lights. And park brake. Alright, approaching. Six. 16 right confirmed. Landing lights, strobe lights, taxi can come off. Should be good to fly. Seatbelt sign set. Do a short field max performance takeoff here. Let's run up to about 80%. That catering truck was just blown over. God, the howl of the G90 never gets old. Alright, speed's coming up fast. Rotate now. Like a rocket ship. Absolute rocket ship, this plane. Alright, 215 set on the airspeed. Auto brakes automatically rejected through RTO, coming in through flaps 5 now. Big rain shaft coming up ahead. Unfortunately, the wipers don't actually do anything. They just sweep and make the noise, but they exist. Let's take a look outside. Love to see it. We'll roll with the wing lights and logos for the rest of the flight, just for scenery's sake. And I'm gonna go ahead and advance this flight plan just a little bit. And actually start doing our descent checklist now. We might as well start doing it now. Recall set, no special notes. Auto brake, we're gonna go 4. Actually, no, we can go 3. I need a set, approach briefing set. Anyway, I'm going to continue on here and wait. I'll catch up with you guys until once we get set up for landing at Painfield. Alright, we're coming in for short final now at Renton. Let's go ahead and drop gear. We'll go laps 20. Drop our airspeed to 170 knots. So we're gonna have to scoot around in here pretty dang tight like. There's the field. I think I'm gonna go manual control. Laps 30. We're gonna have a good head of speed on us, but we've got auto brakes set to 3, so
2500
should be all right. Just gotta make sure that we don't
traffic
overspeed the airframe. Off scale traffic. Not worried about it. Oh, she's nose heavy. Let's trim up.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Working on it.
Sync rate. 1000.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Pull up.
Good
Pull
old
up.
GPWS.
Pull up.
Oh, Renton looks like trash. What happened, Renton?
Sink rate. Sink rate.
30, 20, 10.
What happened to Renton? Tail strike? Oh, there's Renton. Hi, Renton. How's it going? Thanks you to load in for me. Appreciate you. Alright, auto brakes, disarm, and off. I think here is just as good of a spot as any, so let's go ahead and turn out left here. I don't know what the heck happened to the rest of Renton Field. They're supposed to be like hangars and everything, and it's almost looking like it's like on the default scenery or something. I don't know, sir. Alright, park brake on. Beacon and nav can stay on for now. Okay, so we're set for shutdown. AP is running and supplying power. We can go engines off. Seatbelts can go off. Hydraulic panel can go off. Lower anti-ice, window heat. And beacon can go off as well. Fuel pumps. Okay, that one's still feeding the APU. Fuel pumps, park brake is set, so. And then securing, which we're not going to do because I want to do an outro. Disarm L2. And I want stairs 2 left, please. And that should be all we need for this little outro here. How do I want to do this? We'll do it this way. It's not the best way, but it's the way we're gonna do it, dang it. Alright, well, that was our little short impromptu overview. Not short, but impromptu overview of the PMDG 777. Definitely worth the money they're asking for it. I don't remember the exact price. I want to say it's right around 67-ish, 68 USD, which is a reasonable price, all things considered. Again, you get a ton of custom liveries as well as custom interiors for each aircraft. Where are my stairs? Screw it, I'm jumping. See you later. Take it easy.